Recording again. Uh, Judging from what I've seen, it everything seems to work. I just forgot the thumbnail thing, which okay. I have to fix that. I'm gonna talk about something that I probably am not qualified to talk about, which is probably everything on my channel to whoever actually watches my videos. Um, and that's just a very simple question, really, that comes up in my head a lot. I wonder what the end game is for a lot of things. Like, there's been a lot of stuff recently about Alberta separation, which isn't going to go anywhere, even though they're trying. There was even talk that they went down into the United States and have a chat with government officials. Alberta becoming a state is not going to happen anytime soon. I don't know why people seem to be terrified of that or in support of it. Me personally, I'm kind of torn on the issue. For one thing, I am a proud multi-generational Albertan. My family has lived in this province since it came over from Owen Sound, Ontario, and settled here in 1814. And as a matter of course, uh, I actually have just in the local area that I live in, at the local cemetery, is basically the second Davidson who was born in Canada. He is my ancestor, and he basically he basically set up his family here, and he would eventually die in 1846. Um, I'm not entirely sure what that means in terms of generations, but judging from the photo album that my family still carries, uh, it means I'm at least third generation, if not fourth generation Albertan. Which makes me kind of a rarity when it comes to some things, but also common in others. Uh, I am not part of the Eastern immigration. I am not from an American bloodline. I'm not related to the motorcycle makers at all, as far as I know. That could change. Who knows? We have a pretty large extended family. For all I know, there is a connection there. But from what I understand of the 300 years of history that we have dug up, that goes all the way back to Scotland, which is where we are from originally, um, I'd have to say that if there is a tie to the United States, I don't know where it is. Um, the only thing I can think about when it comes to things like that is it kind of makes me wonder, like, about thing concepts that a lot of people don't really think about too much: loyalty, patriotism, and other things. I know I made a video about honor and social contracts and how I operate, and that's because of how I was raised. But I'd rather take a step back and go to oaths and things that may or may not be important to your average person, but can be important to others. Something that, just looking at a guy, you'd never know because it's not like we're waving around with a sign and saying, we believe in this. It's not that obvious. Uh, Structures of morals I've talked about before, but to reiterate something that's been nagging on me, I can't help but wonder. It's like when times are good, everyone wants to belong to a country that helps them, protect them, keeps them in good spirits, keeps them going no matter what's going on around them. A safety blanket. They know when it's all said and done, their country will at least try to look after them, or at least someplace they know they can run to. But when times are not good, you tend to see that what often happens. People tend to split their loyalties on personal lines, greed, and self worth tend to take place over the whole. And this is understandable. At the end of the day, you don't really care what's going on with your neighbors if you and your family are starving, right? I mean, it's not rocket science. Everyone needs to eat. Everyone needs water. There's biological functions that have to happen. I think I've said this more than once. At the end of the day, the only thing that we can derive our experiences on is the fact that we manage to find a way to look after not just ourselves, but if we can, the people around us. And that's not always easy to do. I mean, just look at my situation. I'm not exactly living what you would call the forefront of existence. For being a privileged white male, I'm not very privileged. I'm basically going back to my white trash roots because well, I don't have much for work. I can barely afford to live as it is. And the only reason why I managed to keep the lights on is simply because, despite what Trudeau has done and what Carney's attempting to recover, and hopefully Danielle Smith can get off her ass and do something. But at the end of the day, I'm not putting my faith in these politicians. So you might think, well, you're just a disgruntled white person. You see it all the time on the internet. Well, not really, because I'm not really disgruntled. I saw what was going to happen when it came to how my life was for what it was. I knew that I was probably not going to be able to live in that house I lived in for much longer. And I knew that I'd have to sell the place. Because that's the thing. I owned that house. So I sold that house. And then I had to move here. Now, there's a double edged sword to that. I was able to help my family, especially my father, who's still suffering greatly, even after his heart surgery. He's still technically recovering, despite how long it's been. And I find out that there's other drama occurring within the family that requires my attention, and I'm able to support them as a result. Maybe not much, but the fact that I'm here at all is a boon to those who want my help. And it doesn't just extend to my family. I have no problem, and still have no problem, helping and supporting different charities and groups within the local community. And I mean local community. I don't exactly have Elon Musk style funds to go and invest in something that's going to change the world. But if I can make sure that my local food bank in town has some extra cans of soup or some unperishables like a bag of rice or flour or something, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that because I know what it's like to be hungry, and I know what it's like to have to rely on other people. And I didn't like it then, and I don't like it now. I'd rather relive this white trash nightmare behind me and try to recuperate it as best I can than rely on handouts that may or may not come to light, or rely on charity where I just can't handle it. For me, charity must be repaid. I don't like it. Never have. But that doesn't mean other people don't need it. So I see no reason why I can't support that. And when it comes to separatist nonsense, it's simple. I made an oath to this country a long time ago. That oath, that oath doesn't go away. My loyalty is to this nation. And I'm proud to be an Albertan. Alberta strong all the way. But as a province in the nation of Canada, call me what you want, call me an idiot, call me anything you want. But at the end of the day, it's because of people like me that allow people the opportunity. Maybe I'm being a bit self righteous, and maybe I am. Because I know there are better people than me. Oh, yes. They're on a wall somewhere. They're on a cenotaph at the local legion somewhere in this country. They understood the price that had to be paid for our nation. We do not have, in my opinion, a Charter of Rights and Freedoms. We have a Charter of Privileges that was paid for and is being continuously paid for in the blood and sacrifice of others, whether it be humanitarian, whether it be militaristic, whether it be in defense, whether it be in support of. And that's what I mean by loyalty. You don't need to be a hardliner on this, not by any stretch of the imagination. After all, I'd be a hypocrite if I said that it had to be one way. But it makes me wonder, if your passport is a Canadian passport and you don't like this nation, if you don't like being Canadian, and you spend more time out of the nation than you do in it, then I can't help but wonder why you have that passport. Why can't you like where you are? Why can't you like being who you are where you are? I'm not asking for solidarity or anything like that. Lord knows government should be put to the fire every now and again. That's what elections are for, despite how one sided they can be at times. But I can't help but wonder, it's like, if you support something, you should support it. Don't talk about it. Do something about it. It's not that hard. I don't have a lot of resources, yet I can still manage, when I can, to help my local community. And through that, hopefully, perhaps work towards something bigger. Put a little money in the kitty for something that goes to something important somewhere else. A fund that supports particular research, whether it be medical, because we have a lot of medical researchers in this research labs in this province. We make a lot of discoveries all the time. Hell, the surgery that my dad went through wasn't brand new by Canadian standards, but the techniques that they did to ensure that his heart surgery wouldn't be that bad was actually easy to do for the surgeon. I mean, for the surgeon, it was just another Tuesday. Something that would have been considered lethal 15 years ago or 20 years ago, a 50-50, you're going to die on the table. The guy said, yeah, we'll have you out by 1 o'clock. Now, the only reason I could say that he lied to us was because Dad wasn't ready till 3 o'clock. But you know what I'm getting at. That technology didn't just come out of the blue. That it didn't just come out of somebody's butt. Somebody thought up this way of doing it. Now, I don't understand the particulars. I mean, I'm just an idiot when it comes to this stuff, but especially the details. But I'm not stupid enough to think that where did that research come from? I mean, yeah, the province and the federal government fund some of it, but I know that wasn't the only place they get the money. Research equipment's expensive. People are expensive. A lot of people don't work for free. And although I like to volunteer whenever I can on certain things that I can't actually volunteer on, considering my mobility issues, at the end of the day, even I understand there are people who work for a living. There are people who rely on this stuff. People who make whole careers out of these funds and this research and technology. I mean, inventors need to get paid somehow. Otherwise, why would they bother inventing things? I mean, you think Thomas Edison made all those inventions not to make money? Anyway, just the thought of the day, I guess. Local ramblings. Signing off.